Boom, bam, bam. Welcome to the United Hour. EPL Rewind is what we're doing today. We talking Premier League teams. We talking transfer windows. The transfer window. What team? We're going through the list and we're going to talk about which teams have had the best window going forward. My guest today is the man Ford, president of the Trinidad and Tobago Blue Lions. How are you, my brother?
Good chat, boy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I must say that it is nice. It's been a couple weeks that I've been trying to get uh, a Chelsea supporter on the channel Forward Boy. And it's been proven a very difficult thing. I don't know why men who support Chelsea have been afraid to come on this program, have been hiding. Let me just let all you know, I only had to ask Ford once and he was on. He was like, "Yeah, man, no problem." And that is how you're supposed to be. You're supporting your team, whether things going good or things going bad. Don't hide. You understand? And
I
then,
lie.
come on, the United. Oh, we don't bite nobody here. Look at, come on, man. Don't be afraid. Come on the channel. We talk some football. We must give a shout out to the fan club at Trinity Mall. They always help and support whatever we are doing. So check them out. Valentine Day is coming up, fellas. Go to the fan club, see where you want, take a picture because them ladies and oh, I don't know where you want. No. Don't give the ladies no excuse. No excuses this Valentine. Go see what you want, take a picture, send it for them. Say yeah, that is what I want. Fix it, right? Don't hurt your head. You don't have to stress. There's it right here. Right? Don't give the ladies no excuse, fellas. Deal with them accordingly. Um 40, we're going to start off with Arsenal, or no? We're going to do it in alphabetical order today. So, Arsenal brought in Trossard from Brighton and your former midfielder, Jorginho. Um, what do you think about those moves? What do you think about Arsenal transfer window so far? In a scale of
But I
1
don't, I
to
don't,
10, you rank it.
I don't think we could talk about the transfer window without talking about the season. And for me, they have had an exceptional season thus far. Right? A first half of the season that has seen them sitting atop the table and seeming to consolidate themselves up there. They don't seem shaky at this time. So that they entered the January transfer window very confident. Um, Trossard, and now Jorginho. For my part, from where I'm sitting, um, looks like good business. Um, Especially from the standpoint that we at Chelsea in transition let him go for whatever the amount was. I think it was 11 million pounds or whatever. Um, it seems to me to be very good business. Jorginho is by no stretch of the imagination a shoddy player. He may not have looked very good at Stamford Bridge in the last few months, but is, for my part, and I said this in our space, in our TT Blue Lions space, he settles Arsenal's midfield to a certain extent. And
And I
so
think
I think that it's good business.
and I think as well, for me, a lot of people that I speak to, a lot of Arsenal supporters, good afternoon to Martin Phillip and Mark Lewis on the inside. A lot of Arsenal supporters were concerned about squad depth. They were concerned about, when there are players missing. I mean, now with these additions, you don't just have squad depth, you actually have somebody dangerous, excuse me, to bring up the bench. Because when Arsenal starts and you have Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, and well, in Ketia or Jesus, right? Once any one of them fellas, once things not going your way, they really had nobody to come off the bench to add anything. You're
Yeah.
not looking for Smith Rowe to come out there and light the place afire. You understand what I'm saying? But with Trossard, we know, seeing what he has done with Brighton, that Trossard is that kind of player that could come and create a spark. You know,
Yeah.
so so I think they they're in good position on top of the league and they did good business. I agree with you where that is concerned. Next team we're going to check out is Chelsea. I only calling the major players, folks. So I know it's a long list for Chelsea. Don't get vexed with me if you didn't hear everybody name, right? We talking Enzo Fernandez, Modric, Joao Felix, just to name a few. That are a few others well. I want to ask you for this, especially as a Chelsea supporter. I know Chelsea had a lot of injuries. So it's not like if Chelsea didn't need these players. But at some point, the injured players going to come back. And they have a very bloated squad. Distinctly remember in the Jose Mourinho days that Jose Mourinho had a squad of 24 and challenged on every front and won the lot. Right?
Yeah.
Won the lot with 24. And I always respected that he used to have a tight ship. And yes, it had injuries, but he used to find a way, right? It used to work. You being a Chelsea supporter, watching that history, because during that Jose era was when Chelsea really announced their arrival as regular title contenders. And watching what is going on now, how would you rate Chelsea's window and the direction that the club is going right
The window is, I think, exceptional. Um, Being really, 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 really blunt about it, for me, it has kind of revitalized my interest in my season. I had, to a certain extent, given way to what was happening. I felt that we would transition, but we would need time. Um, what had happened initially with the first window, where we seemed to be going into the market, but not getting it right in terms of being able to pull the players to Stamford Bridge. I was concerned about that, and then we seemed to have this slide even after Graham came in. Um, so I had kind of said, look, I'm gonna have to give it time, let Graham settle, let Todd and they settle, and then probably next season we would see something special. However, Todd Bowley and Egbali and they went in January, and they said, you know what, hold my beer, we're gonna do something in January, and they have done something in January. They brought in
let
players,
me
and
let me read this comment and then I want to ask you a question coming out of what you're saying there. Martin
yeah,
Phillip is saying the transfer Chelsea made is making a run for next season. And I want to ask you that question. Based on what you
sure.
said, based on this comment, do you think that Chelsea, we know player wise, if you look at the players, yes, Chelsea has the squad to make a push, but clearly there is some lack of chemistry still, right?
Yes.
Do you think Chelsea is going to challenge for a top spot position between now and the end of the season? No. Now that the transfer window has closed, now that you've gotten in zone, now that you've gotten the players. I mean, Joao Felix I think he's finished served his suspension. Is he going to be back for the next game?
I think he's in the running to Fulham. Yes.
Right. So, and then you still have players coming back from injury. Do you think Chelsea has enough to push, or should Chelsea supporters really be just saying, here what? Let's just get the guys playing well together, and next season we're not looking at top four, we're challenging for the title. What is how do you view it going forward?
Pragmatism demands that we look to next season.
Next season is when you're really looking to push. Right now, we're just looking for chemistry.
Yeah, pragmatism demands that. However, as a fan, seeing the influx of players, realistically, I think we did about 8 players. Realistically, we probably only see about 5 of them. Um, Pragmatism tells me look to next season, but with the effect of people like Modric and Jao, and when Enzo gets his papers and he comes in, I understand that Santos is also getting his work permit and so on. When these guys come in and Todd begins to plug and play and he begins to do his thing. I expect to see some effect, and I think that we can make a run to get us close to the top of the thing as is possible. It's gonna be a push, Chad. I am really, really, really positive, but I don't know if we'll quite make it in the second half of the season.
Let me just say this. And I'm not just saying this. I need to let people know. I don't just talk because, well, I have a Chelsea man here, so I'm being nice to Chelsea. I just talk my mind. The things I
Yeah,
say on the program, people that talk to me one-on-one in private would know that, yeah, Chad to say that. Between you and Liverpool, if I had to bet money on a team that could make it into the top 6, between you and Liverpool, I bet you. Even though Chelsea is 10th and Liverpool is, I think Chelsea have a better opportunity of making it into European football and Liverpool, because somehow, yes, Chelsea have injuries, you have a new coach, you have new players. There's reason for dysfunction at Chelsea. When I look at Liverpool, I don't see reason for dysfunction, but I still see dysfunction.
yes,
I just see
yes.
dysfunction with no reason. So if I had to bet money, I would bet money that Chelsea, out of the two teams, is the team more likely to make the run, but time will tell. Time will tell. Let's head across. Let's talk about Everton. Quickly, Everton didn't bring in anybody. They didn't bring in anybody on loan. They did no business whatsoever. But they sold 8 players, or loaned out 8 players. 8 players went out, and one of them was one of their big players, Gordon. I keep asking myself this question. Has Everton given up? Has Everton decided that they're going to get relegated? You know, yes, they bring in a coach. I'm trying to remember his name. I keep forgetting. It was supposed to Google it before we started. I didn't. I don't know if you remember Everton's new coach name.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Go
I'll
ahead.
check on it before we finish. But the question I want to ask is this. Adrian, welcome to the program. The question I want to ask is this, where Everton is concerned. You think Everton has just decided they're going to get relegated? Because I don't understand how you could sell one of your best young talents at this stage of the season. Welcome to the program, Tristan.
Pleasant good afternoon, everyone. How you guys doing?
All I have to say to you is that you are going to be buying wrongs whenever we connect, because you
That,
come to the program late.
that is not a problem. I'll put it by us. I'll put it on Arsenal. Don't worry.
In case anybody was wondering, Tristan is an Arsenal fan. You missed our talking about Arsenal, but we're gonna get back there in a little bit. We're talking
Not a
about
problem.
Everton. We're talking about Everton right now. So yeah,
Ooh.
you think Everton is has just resigned themselves to relegation, or what do you think is going on with Everton when you look at their transfer business?
I to be honest, Chad, and good day to Tristan as well. I'm amazed by Everton at this point. They let go of their manager. They brought in Sean Dyche, good manager. Um, but then you started giving away your players. I don't understand the strategy. The strategy doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know what the vision is. I don't know what is going on there. To be honest, you use the word giving up. I don't know if they have a bigger picture in terms of they're probably getting a new investor and they plan to hit it hard next season. So they're getting rid of what they believe is the dross now, clearing out now with a preparation for summer. I don't know. We might see them suddenly pop up in summer and do something huge. But I just don't understand the strategy.
Pop up in summer, they need to remain in the Premier League. Yeah? You can't pop up in summer if you're in relegation.
Well, if they get relegated, they may decide, well, look, we're gonna start from lower down and rebuild. I don't get it, to be honest. I'm unable to give.
Tristan, what
Maybe Tristan has an idea.
You have any thoughts to what is going on with Everton right now?
I will say that they lost faith in Lampard. The fans was growing furious with him. The results wasn't changing. The board didn't really back him. Well, they back him, but they back him for players that didn't really suit the system. You go on and you buy the washed up player from Tottenham, Delali. And he's so bad that Besiktas, who took him on loan, want to send him back, and Everton don't want him back. Right? He probably could play championship football as of right now. You have a striker who I always wanted, Calvin Lewin, Dominic Calvin Lewin, he's like the Bellerin of Everton right now. You know, he into catwalk modeling, them kind of his focus is not football. You have Gordon who forces his way out, and rightfully so, in the sense that why should I stick here? When I'm here, all not playing man on the bench, and I could offer more. If I could really offer more, well, play me in my position, you know, because he was actually banging during September, October. He was playing on that right wing, he was playing that right back, he was playing right forward, and he was bringing in goals. As you're bringing this guy from, I think is this guy who come in, I can't remember his name yet. He's a left winger for Burnley. When they brought him in, everything does well at Skelter with Everton, trying to force him to play a position that he's not accustomed playing, and now they're fighting for relegation. They have a very good team on paper. On paper, you have good defenders, you have experienced men in the back there. You have Cody, you have the Manchester United youth captain who went across there. Can't remember his name right now. You have him. You have some other bruisers in the middle. You have Minya,
Corey. So,
the
but
Corey.
talk to
You
me.
have fighters.
I'm
But
asking
the
you I'm
problem
asking you a tough question. I'm
is,
asking you a tough question because before the season started, we made predictions,
yeah.
right? Made predictions, and one of my predictions was that Frank Lampard was going to be the first coach to be fired. He wasn't the first,
He wasn't the first.
but he definitely got fired, right? You think Everton going to have enough to stay up? Because right now it's real close, it's tight in the bottom there, you know, it's tight.
All right. If it's one thing with Sean Dyche, Arsenal are to play Everton right now under a new manager, and you know how the new manager bouncers go, especially for teams like that. Sean Dyche he's been away for at least 2 years. He could come in and he could give you the Newcastle coach Eddie Howe.
To me, new manager bounce does work when the manager has lost the dressing room.
Lampard lose the dressing room long time. That is why you wanted him out. He lost it long time.
So
that's why you wanted him.
You believe so?
Yeah.
You think these players would run out there with a different kind of attitude?
I believe so, because if you look at the perception of Minya when the fans confront him and they're asking him what going on in the dressing room, what going on there. After the game, he didn't even say take his shot. He went and meet the fans to find out why it is the booing the players on them. He said, no, you guys are being paid a good amount of money and we expect you guys to play with heart. He said, we playing with heart. We're doing what the manager wants. You understand? And that there is key. That key is to tell you, well, all right, Lampard is doing shit, time to game out. So you're bringing a coach who have custom fighting for relegation in to help save the season. Half of the season gone, the next half coming, which means you have enough time, ample time, to if you play 5 in the back and you score one, you know, Burnley used to do it back in the days under him. Lump that ball in and you have a target man. You have a target man. You have Mopoy who's a sinister. He has the players of Burnley within that Everton.
So you think Everton will stay up? All right.
I believe they could survive.
Okay. So let's talk about Liverpool. Liverpool brought in Cody Gakpo. I find Liverpool transfer business weird. Yes, we understand they have issues with injuries to strikers, Jota and the like, and Diaz. I understand that. But everybody keeps saying that Liverpool's problem is the midfield. You have guys that injured, but they will come back. You have a prolific scorer in Salah that is not scoring. Probably you should have spent money on the midfield to try to fix and unlock Salah instead of bringing in a striker. That was my thought. But who am I, right? I don't get paid big money. My name is not Klopp. I don't have no titles, no silverware. So maybe I'm missing it. So talk to me, 40. What do you think about Liverpool and what's going on at Liverpool right now?
Liverpool, again, another club that spent some time in the dark and then rebuilt themselves from the cup. It took the time and they rebuilt themselves.
Well, I think that
Now,
was the problem, you know. They took too long because
yeah,
it's the club
and
7 year curse, you know. So maybe they
right.
should have tried to rebuild in 3. He might have
In-
had 3 more.
interestingly, interestingly, I had this conversation with somebody recently, another Liverpool fan, and they were talking. We were discussing what is happening at Chelsea in terms of bringing the average age down, and we were talking about that and saying that possibly one of the issues is that Liverpool, while settling their team, allowed men to get old. They didn't really cater for this period of time when 6, 7 years would have passed and they now need to refresh that group that is there. We thought that they were actually doing it with, one of the two of the additions that came in, but something is wrong. Something is wrong at Anfield, and I am not sure that the striker has, that the Burton has answered the bell. Something is going on with Salah, so he isn't knocking them in. Um, I, for me, Chad, January window used to be kind of part of the course. We have a window to bring in some kind of some standby players or whatever, backup players. With what happened last year with the World Cup injuries, whatever. I think this January window is now pivotal for a lot of teams. So I think that what is going to happen is a lot of us are going to sit and watch to see what will happen in the last half. And I think that's what we have to do. We have to sit and watch what happens in the last half with this particular 23, you know, year 23. Um, let's see what happens. I am anxious now. I'm chomping at the bit to see what happens with all of these teams in the last half of this particular season.
Yeah, well, I
I
mean,
watch it. I watch
as a
it.
Chelsea supporter, all buy almost a whole new squad, you know. So you're supposed to be
Yeah,
excited.
yeah,
You're supposed to be
yeah.
excited.
I am.
Tristan,
I want to meet Tristan and them again. Back.
Tristan, talk to me. When
Well,
you
I
see
just,
Klopp, we got a comment there from Martin Phillips saying that the exit of Mane is the problem.
the solely wrong player, and I have maintained saying that from since the beginning. When I said Liverpool is not going to finish in the top 4, everybody raised their eyebrow. What? I say club 7 year this has just begun. They raised their eyebrow. What? And so say so done. We still seeing it. I believe they bought Cody Gakpo based on World Cup performances. He played against Arsenal, and I was not impressed in the Europa League. When we played the A side, Tomiyasu had him in the pocket. We played the B side and realized, well, this
Yeah, but
Cedric was marking.
it's a new league. People take time to adjust.
And
I find it hard to just say, well, he's not performing when Salah not performing, when the 100 million signing not performing. Clearly, these guys, it's an issue with anybody. I think they could bring back Prime Maradona and put him in that team. He'll have problems. Something is wrong.
but even in defense too, you could see that Canote selling guns. The most improved and most resilient centre back they have Matip, not Van Dijk, Matip. He and all selling guns in the back there. So it begs to wonder if it's only midfielder alone because the right back, we're not sure if he's a right winger. Like Arnold, he just getting terrible. The left back, Robertson, he's getting more aggressive and everybody's getting to understand how much of a stink player he is. So he getting red card, the
I
referee's
think
finally
that,
wake up.
that might just be frustration more than anything else. I don't know
Well,
that he's a nasty
since
player.
he came, he has been playing frustration football because I played against him and I see myself play against him and I'm like, the referee not seeing this man literally kicking down the opponent. So now they're actually seeing it and they're actually giving them a call. The midfield, well, we know the midfield is aging also. And you had the likes of Oxlade Chamberlain, you had the likes of this guy they pay 70 million for the
So
African.
I don't want
So
to throw shade. I'm not throwing shade. It might sound like it, but I'm not throwing shade. Liverpool announced they wanted to get sold about 2 months before Manchester United announced they wanted to get sold. Since that time, I hear probably about 2 groups interested in Liverpool, and I hear about over 10 people / groups interested in Manchester United, and Manchester United seems like they're going to get sold before Liverpool. Is it that this sale transition is also affecting Liverpool? That there's a sense of uncertainty. Do you think that is bleeding down into the dressing room, or the issues is just in the dressing room alone?
I will say the issues is just in the dressing room. Whether a club sold, yes or no, that shouldn't impact the players on the pitch. At the end of the day, all their money is not being cut. All they're being paid, all
True,
the
they're getting
money
paid.
at the end of the day. So all they have to go out there and do exactly what the manager says to do. But when you have a manager making excuses such as, well, the pitch was dry, it didn't cut properly, the
Club,
breeze was blowing too
club
fast.
have a special book, yes.
You understand? It begs to wonder what going on there. Something not being, the message from the manager to the players is not being relayed properly.
Something getting lost in translation.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at Manchester City quickly. Let's run through the rest of these teams. City only did one transfer. Nobody of note, so I didn't really talk about them. But
no, he's a good player for the under 20. He's a brilliant player. I watch him for the under 20. That's a very good.
When I say nobody of note, I wasn't suggesting that the player wasn't good. I was just suggesting that most of the viewing public, if I call his name, nobody would know who he is.
That's true.
City also seem to have kind of hit a wobble. The performances seem to be a little erratic.
No comment.
The utility right back, they sent to Germany because he followed with Pep. I'm not really going to ask about the window. I'm just going to ask this question. Do you think City is going to really make a title charge against Arsenal for it?
Said it before. Arsenal at this time is scary. And City had a flexing of muscle when they brought in Haaland. Everybody had this kind of, idea. There was an injection of verve into the league saying, hey, this is City here again, this and that, da 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 da. Arsenal settled themselves and said, look, we're going to back Arteta, screw all of our opinions, we're going to back this man, and they come back with a teeth sharp. So, again, and I'm sounding real undecided with regards to a lot of things, except my team. But it's gonna be a fight. City versus Arsenal. Arsenal on the ascendancy. City seeming, as you say, to wobble.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
City and Arsenal going to play each other 3 times. They played each other once already within the next month, within the next 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
They beat Arsenal 1-0 in the FA Cup. They have to face them 2 times in the league. Do you think City could beat Arsenal twice?
City could beat anybody. But what is happening is something going on in that dressing room. So the mere fact that you have Pep, who is a very strong personality, and we have a very clear signal that things ain't too right, where you're getting rid of a defender. Forthwith, there ain't no discussion, there ain't no benching the player. You're trying to discipline him. Get rid of him. That tells me something from a psychological, sports psychology, angle. Something going on in that dressing room, and that can affect. As a Chelsea fan, I can tell you that affects the way teams play. So
if you had to bet money, will City win the next 2 games against Arsenal?
I give it to Arsenal. Arsenal can come. Arsenal is on a high. They're all together. They're gelling. They're playing football. They have that win behind them. They actually on top of the world right now. Adrenaline could take Arsenal to where they want to go. Right? City is stumbling. Even with Haaland in there, they're stumbling. And I'm thinking that Pep, being the thinker, Taylor soldier spy that he is, he could end up shooting himself in the foot. And Arsenal could take advantage of that.
All right. So, Tristan.
Yeah.
You think City going to rebound, or are they going to continue to wobble?
City can rebound. Manchester United can rebound. As I
Now,
keep
with
on saying,
United,
I
you
will
had a
like,
rebound. That
I
loss
will.
against Arsenal was not, that was, we was missing Casemiro. That is all that was.
So this was like a payback where we was missing party now while I'm missing
Yeah.
Casemiro.
That's the
Can't
bottom
cope.
line is talking about
I
City.
just
City
wanted you
can
to say
rebound.
it now. I just wanted you to say it now.
City can rebound.
Yeah,
Um,
City can rebound,
so let
and
me so
I
let me ask you
expect
a
United.
question. Let me ask you a question. Let me put you on the spot. Manchester City is going to be playing Arsenal. Same question. 2 games on the soon. Back, not back to back, but 2 games within a very short space of time.
Yeah,
What are you expecting in the outcome of those games?
I watch GFA Cup game, and when I watch GFA Cup game, I see Arsenal 7 changes. I see Pep keep the same team. All he rotated was the goalkeeper, and I was impressed with what I see from my club. It's just unfortunate that Sambi Lokonga, he wasn't really, he didn't, let me blast him. He didn't understand, he didn't really fit the rhythm of the game. When he came off the bench, he replaced Party. And with that, City just need one chance and they take the one chance and goal. But for the
So based
second,
on
for the
what you are
team,
saying, if Arsenal is playing the full strength team,
if
we
Arsenal
should
is
beat
playing the
City.
full strength team, I think we could give City a good run. We could win one of them two games we had to play, especially at home.
All right. I hear that. I will take that. Manchester United only dealt with loans. Didn't buy anybody. Loan backup goalkeeper Jack Butland. Marcel Sabitzer from Bayern Munich, a very good utility midfielder. And Weghorst. Can't remember where we got him from. But
Burnley and Besiktas.
right back. Thank you, Besiktas. Um, you know, being the Manchester United supporter, I will ask myself what I thought about the window. Obviously, you would like to get the big names, you would like to have the kind of money and the settled or the newly minted ownership like Chelsea to splash the cash. We don't have that. We have owners that are trying to sell the club and try to sell the club as fast as possible, based on all the reports. So the one thing I like about United's window is the mentality. Ten Hag seems to be able to get players that want to play football, that want to prove themselves, that would easily slide into his system. I have watched Weghorst run out there like a man possessed. He only scored 1 goal so far, but he's running on everybody. He's trying to win back the ball, and you can't question the effort and the physical output, And I am pretty certain Bitzler would do the same thing as well. So from that standpoint, the window is good enough. We had news today, actually just breaking within the last hour and a half, that Mason Greenwood, all charges have been dropped. So there's going to be a humongous discussion within Manchester United circles as will he be reintegrated into the senior team?
No reason not to.
Will he be brought back into the team at all to put on with 23 players? Will the club just try to sell it? What is going to go on with Mason Greenwood? If I had to cast an aspiration, I don't think he would be right away. I think this manager attitude seems to be just as important as or even more important than talent. Sancho was talented, but something seemed to be off with his attitude. He sent him packing for 3 months, right? Special attention away from the team. Ronaldo was acting up. He had no problem putting Ronaldo out. Ronaldo tried to force a move, but he really didn't need to force it because the manager was more than willing to let him go. And, so this manager seems, what you're bringing to the team attitude-wise is just as important or even more important than your talent. So from that perspective, he will definitely have a talk with Mason Greenwood, and I think he will decide what is going to happen. I do expect to see Mason in the senior team at least for a month. And if that talk doesn't go well, I do expect you mightn't see him at all. You know, Ten Hag ain't playing. He ain't playing. If he don't feel Mason is ready to put his head down and work and focus and deal with his of the field issues, he ain't playing for Manchester United, period, under this coach. However, if he comes and he shows the attitude that the coach likes, that would be, you know, an additional player that we might see before the end of the season. So Manchester United's window I consider decent enough just based on the fact of the type of players that the manager has brought on. He's brought a little depth. You have Johnny van der Beek out possibly till the end of the season. You have Ericsson out possibly till very close to the end of the season. So we needed something. And we got that
They
something.
have a resurgent Rashford.
Well, on form, Rashford is the best player in the Premier League at the point in time. The best striker, sorry, in the Premier League at this point in time on form.
Tristan disagrees.
Nah, he can't disagree. He might frown, but he can't disagree.
I not disagree with nothing. All I had to say is I wish Rashford could continue this form right through and do this and then pop down after he get 450k a week. Because we know he playing for his contract. And this is what Aubameyang did to us. The hope and I pray is not the same love we're going and get. Because Aubameyang was a man on fire with 350k. Everything he touches goal. Rashford right now is a man on fire. And he was 450k. Right? So I really hope so. But in terms of all the transfers, I must say, I kudos to all the buying. All they needed a striker to make striking runs. All they get that in wingers. All they get Sabitzer. Sabitzer can play as a false number 9, which he does for his country. He can play anywhere in the midfield. He can play anywhere on the wing. I'm not sure if he still have the legs because it's been a while since he actually played for Bayern Munich. That is the only thing. And apart from such, all they get our next backup keeper, Butland. All they don't really need him, but still, nonetheless, all they do good business and kudos to all it. That is all I'm going to see on Manchester United for him. Apart from such, Rashford, Mason Greenwood. I pray that Mason Greenwood actually learn his lesson and take it seriously because as far as I saw, he made back with the same girl who allegedly claim he did something to.
Well, she has never said so, eh? She said she did not put the stuff out there that her phone was hacked. That has always been her thing. Her thing is, my phone was hacked. I didn't mean to put those things out there. So she has never publicly said that Mason ever do her anything. She has never said that.
Wow. But I wish she could do like what it is thing do and stay away. Learn from your city rival. Look at what he had to go through just to play the innocence. Right?
Mendy?
Stay away, bro.
Well, Mendy had a little fling. This is supposed to be Greenwood's girl, right? So I don't know that there seems to be a little difference there to my mind. You know, as far as I'm concerned, we as the fans have a tendency to take things to a different level. And I think that's what happened with Greenwood. Manchester was forced to take action against Greenwood because of the publicity issue, not necessarily because of the case itself. And I think Mason just as Tristan is saying, you need to put his head down and concentrate on his football. Whatever you have in your private life, we can't really comment on that, or we can. But I was very pleased with what happened at was it Fulham, where when Kurt Zuma had his issue with his feline, the manager said, "Man, I'm not interested in that. You know, you see all that is beyond me. I play my player." And I'm saying that if Ten Hag sees that Greenwood, as you say in chat, if he sees that Greenwood has the head for it and he has mind where it's supposed to be, play the player. Forget that private life thing that have nothing to do with the game. You know what I mean? Settle yourself and play football.
And I agree, and I hope so, because one of the things I have a problem with are these people who are so willing to write off people, right? Oh, because he allegedly is a girl, he should never play football again. This fella is 21 years old. What you want him to do? Be a bum on the side of the road? You know?
Yeah, but that's not we business. That's their private life as well. That's their private life.
Yeah, you know, but
he never made any claims.
The cancel culture is so strong, and it's something I have a problem with. There must be a road to redemption, even if somebody made a mistake. even the likes of Mendy, even if he got guilty and he went to jail for 3 years on one of the rape charges and he comes back out, there should be a road and a path to redemption. It shouldn't be right. He was found guilty as a rapist. He must never play professional football at a level
But
like
it
that.
happened
Why?
to Joey Barton. That's the problem. That's the problem. Again, it will say people will say racism because it happened to men like Joey Barton. Barton went behind bars. It
No,
happened
I'm
to
not
the
saying racism because I know it happened to white players as well. And
and the thing is, they come back and play football normal. Even Adam Johnson. Johnson come back and he playing football or no? He not playing in the Premier League
he's not
again.
playing in the Premier League, you know. So I
But
always believe that it must have that path to redemption. It should not be you were accused or even worse yet, you were found guilty, and that is it for you. So I hope that United supports Greenwood because young people must know that they could make a mistake and there is redemption. It is not, that is it. Your life, your existence is over. You understand? That's my personal point of view, not just for Mason Greenwood, but for anybody. Newcastle, their big purchase was Anthony Gordon from Everton. They bought a couple other people too, but nobody again of note. Newcastle has been doing very, very well. I think Newcastle has the best defense in the Premier League at this particular point in time. We're looking at form. They seem to be a team very hard to score on. I don't even know if it makes sense talking about Newcastle. What we could say about Newcastle window, but anybody want to say anything?
I would just say it was a good buy because look, this guy will be out for 3 games.
Excellent buy.
Yeah. Bruno Guimaraes will miss 3 games. He'll come back for the final. Adam Guns Gordon go fit right in there. The right back Trippier could get a rest. The right back they buy from West Ham. He start a few games well for West Ham, and that was an easy buy, 1 million. Not bad. So they make some smart signings, knowing fully well that if they get Champions League, which is the goal, they will be able to get the players, the big name players that they want to attract the club, attract them to the club.
I agree. Newcastle playing chess right now when certain other clubs playing checkers. Nottingham Forest. The only reason I'm talking about Nottingham Forest is because I noticed that they bought people like John Joe Shelby. And anybody who's been watching Premier League football knows who John Joe Shelby is. Former Liverpool, former Newcastle player. They also got Keylor Navas from PSG. And they got Chris Ward from Newcastle. So Nottingham Forest has been doing some business, all in an attempt to stay in the Premier League and not get relegated. So the simple question is this. Tristan, do you believe Nottingham Forest is going to stay up?
Yeah, well, I'm still up. I believe they have enough firepower, enough midfield, defensive bruisers inside a Shelby, attacking players to actually survive. They have enough.
All right.
Navas in the back there. They have all a goalkeeper in the back there also. Navas is a penalty saver, specialist. All right. Defenders, they bring in some bruisers. They bring in some nice Brazilian midfielder we was looking at. We didn't go for him. And yeah, I was real happy John Drogo there. John Drogo had the freedom to shoot from far out. And we know since this new coach come in, Shelby haven't scored a screamer yet. So it's just a matter of time.
All right. Talk to me, Fordy. What do you think?
Nottingham Forest isn't threatened by anything below them. They aren't threatened by anything below them. Everybody else below them really, really enormous. So I feel they're pretty secure. They just need to settle themselves. You know, their manager just needs to focus on the game, settle in his players, let Jonjo bring his experience to the team, right? And play for that mid table. You know, threaten people like Chelsea, slightly above you, that kind of thing, and keep playing the football. I don't see them dropping into that zone. You know, they're not in the relegation scrap. You know, as far as I'm concerned, Leicester, Leeds, West Ham, Wolves. I ain't seen anybody really threatening them. You know, from below there. So I think they're good to go.
All right. Spurs gave Conte serious belly work. Had him rushed to hospital. He had to get surgery. He's not going to be on the sidelines this weekend. All I have to say about Spurs, they bought 3 people in, a guy called Pedro Porro. They spent 40 something million pounds on. We wish Spurs the best. Moving along. West Ham brought in. When you send a manager to hospital with indigestion, I mean,
Not much to say after that.
you really have much to say after that. The only Spurs getting man sick. You understand? Either Spurs and the English cooking or both. You understand? Man come from Italy, accustomed to good food and wine. I don't know what they gain him over there in London to eat. But we wish
Conte was in London. Conte know how to, that something in that water in Tottenham.
I don't know because he was in London before and he didn't get sick. So
yep, correct.
West Ham brought in Danny Ings plus a couple other people. I want to just touch on West Ham a little bit, guys, because last season people was talking about how wonderful David Moyes is, and he's showing his quality and this and that because West Ham was up there in the top 6 mix. But David Moyes is clearly a seesaw coach. Every time he's on a team and the team seems to be doing well, and they bring in addition. It's not to say they lost Antonio. It's not to say they lost other players. They added, right? They didn't lose this English guy in the midfield, Rice. They added players. And they are worse this season, than they were last season. With a better team. Same coach, better players in your relegation zone. So tell me, guys, what do you think really going on with West Ham? Tristan?
I think West Ham outplayed by Moyes have a tendency to overthink matters and overthink games. Stick to your game plan. You bring in the players who you think will change certain aspects of the game. Stick to the players that you believe and you have faith in. Men like Antonio will get you out of there. But you bring in the Italian, and because you spend big money on them fellas, you had to start them. As the only problem, but it takes a while for them to adapt. Do go for players from other leagues that will take time to adapt. Let's say buy in the Premier League and done. You tried with Danny Ings. Danny Ings come on, you score, you assist, you get injured now for about 2 or 3 months. You know that, right? So they're just bad lucky. They are not. I would like for them to go down. I've been honest. I'm a midfielder. I've been honest. Let them go down. I'm gonna pay a little small money for them.
I hear you. I mean, I West Ham as a team has been around for a long time, but I wouldn't lie to tell you for that. I really wouldn't miss them. I wouldn't miss them.
Yeah, I see this man looking at Rice too. I know where I'm interested in him for now. Rice belongs to Chelsea. But what I'm saying is this bottom line where West Ham.
Excuse.
Nah, I don't repeat myself. I don't repeat myself. At the end of the day, I think what is happening in this league, I think West Ham problem might be the league. It might be a league issue. The teams are strengthening around West Ham, and I think that may be Moyes' problem. Teams are very strong in EPL now. It's the smaller teams. It's not, the. Hello, am I still on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So I think the issue might be the league that is undoing West Ham. West Ham needs to go back to the drawing board, I think, and reboot the team. Probably Moyes needs to change up his tactics, refresh something. But I believe that it's not a question of the team being unable to get the business done. I think that the league itself has gotten stronger and try to hold on to the good players. They're in a precarious position where they are right now. Positioned, they're in a very strange place. But I think the league is undoing them. The league is proving to be too strong for them. They could go down. I would like them to stay up, but they could go down.
For anybody wondering where they could get that wonderful what you just call that, Tristan, where you're wearing there? Bathrobe. If you're wondering where you could get a bathrobe like that in your own team, whether your team is Chelsea, whether your team is Barcelona, whoever your team is, Manchester United, check the fan club. The fan club has them very good. They're soft. They're wonderful, elegant. Watch me. You're not going to be disappointed. Go to the fan club. And as I said earlier, fellas, don't let the ladies get away this year. Go and see where you want. Take a picture, send it for them, and say, this is what I want for Valentine. Don't let them get
So wait. Can I interrupt? That plug. Let me interrupt that plug. Am I correct in assuming that this show have a man in a bathroom on it? Had to be a gunner way. Had to be a gunner. It had to be a gunner.
You and I are just as surprised, my brother. I was surprised when I saw it, but I know
The
exactly.
confidence of a gunner. Yeah. It had to be a gunner.
Yeah, when you're on top of the league, you could do them thing, you know. When you're on top of the league, you could do them thing. You could do them thing.
By the way, this was a Christmas gift from the fan club. My wife, every time they have something new on the shelf, she always goes and buys it and put it down. Big up to the fan club, Twin City Mall. You know her personally as she comes in, everything else now.
Right.
Good afternoon to Alan on the inside. So, gentlemen, I just want to run through very quickly the scores from last week. We had what a lot of people consider the battle of the I don't know, wasn't anything good. Liverpool versus Chelsea 0-0. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest 1-1. Leicester, Brighton, another draw 2-2. I was a little surprised that Brighton didn't destroy Leicester, that Leicester actually scored 2 goals, but it is what it is. Southampton, Aston Villa winning 1-0. West Ham beat Everton 2-0. Crystal Palace, Newcastle 0-0. Another clean sheet at this Newcastle team, boy. Wow. This Newcastle team. I don't know. This team seems to be a very hard team to score against. On Sunday, we had Leeds playing Brentford, Sunday the 22nd, that is. 0-0. City demolished Wolves, which seems to be what City does against teams, Wolves in particular. 3-0. Arsenal, Manchester United. Arsenal with extra time goal in the death. 3-2. Winners over Manchester United. And Fulham losing 1-0 to embattled Spurs. Fulham actually looked like they deserved to win that game, in my opinion. Fulham played better than Spurs did, but Spurs have Harry Kane, so that's and Son, and those are the players that make the difference. Arsenal, after 19 games, are on 50 points and leading the league. They have a 5 points and a game in hand lead on Manchester City, who on 45 points. Newcastle and Manchester United are tied on 39 points. Spurs, Brighton, and Fulham are outside lurking the top 4. And on the bottom, we have Southampton and Everton tied on 15 points, holding up the league. Bournemouth and Wolverhampton on 17 points. West Ham and Leeds and Leicester on 18 points. So from 14th to 20th is a 3-point gap. 2 wins, and any of these teams in the bottom here will be out. 2 losses, and any of the teams from Leicester, Leeds, West Ham, or Wolves would be in the relegation zone. So this Premier League is definitely exciting. It's a fight. I am enjoying it. You know, normally last year you had teams like Norwich, which if you play fantasy, once it's your team playing Norwich, you're looking to get a player because you know his goals. You know, you are men who in the relegation zone on 9, on 10. Not this year. This year, the relegation fight is tight. Look like it's going to be tight all the way through. The league is not that tight, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What's that, Tristan?
The league is very tight. I don't know what I mean, like not very tight. They City need to lose.
5 points and a game in hand is tight. Well, boy, I don't know. That don't sound tight to me, but we'll see how it goes. Peoples, thank you for tuning in to the Rewind. Remember, keep it locked. We got Carnival content as we continue our We Outside Carnival edition series. We're going to have some nice, for those who into pan, we've got going by one of the major pan sides this weekend. We're going to be bringing you some pan content as well. We're going to be bringing you some more fit content, and we're also going to be bringing you some scam content. Yes, there are still people who just make their own make costumes to get people to wear. They don't bring everything from China, so we're going to be checking that out. So definitely stay tuned to the United Hour, not just for the football talk, not just for the banter, but for the entertainment. Gentlemen, what do you have to tell the people before we head out for the start?
Big up to fan club, right? You know, those guys up there always supply us with the good stuff. You know, so I want to shout out to those guys up there. Big up to you, Chad, for keeping it real. You know, having a quality show and a quality program. Tristan, see you on the battlefield, brother. And to all you blues out there, don't let try to be coming on here and begging all you, please represent all your Lions, please. That we go out there, you know, we blue till we dead, right? London is blue. Boy, with that red thing down at the bottom of the screen there, bathroom guy down there, London is blue. Let's keep it real. Yeah. Yeah, the them frog. I like to see them frog. I like to see them frog. Right? I love that. Right? But you know, big up. Let's keep it safe this season, guys. You know, watch it out there on the road.
Yeah, for real. Be very careful out there on the road. Tristan, talk to the people.
Yeah, what I just say, boy. I just say first of all, thanks for having me on. Yeah, drinks will be on Arsenal. Second thing, the fan club. Big up the fan club for all your merchandise, all your gears and stuff. Best place to go. Big up President Chad, Manchester fans. Big up to you guys also. Been a while since Arsenal and United have a thing to, you know, smile about.
A real rivalry. It's been
Yeah,
it's been a little while. It's been a little
while and it was really good because last week I didn't watch the game. And the funny thing is, a Manchester United fan. Every minute he check any phone. Yes! And I was like, what is score? Yeah, 2-2. I was like, one. Yeah, Martinez now equalized. Like, okay, I didn't tell him I was an Arsenal fan. I wait, 90th minute call up. I see penalty phone. I was like, you okay? Yeah, this effing man boy. I was like, who's that? Yeah, look at here. I was like, okay. I say, I'll tell you something and I go, oh, I'm tell you, no, I'm tell you later. Yeah, tell me now. Fergie time, boy, Fergie time. People can't come, as a bitch. That man can have cough, man. He coughed me down there, but he was on work. He couldn't do that. But big up to all United fans. Again, I appreciate you guys. The Chelsea fans, I know all in all glee with all million and one signing. I wish all the best. Not really. I wish you guys continue to like Chelsea. You know, everybody know when they
23 million pounds.
everybody know when they cut yourself, you're a see red. So you know all the red sides are the best sides in the world. Forget City, forget United, forget Manchester City. Sorry, you understand? London is good again. Have a blessed day. You be safe out any carnival. If all that use all the mask and sanitizer, remember COVID, the numbers are still rising. I know that for a fact because my other half, she works in that field. So I can tell you guys it's real. So be safe, enjoy the carnival, and stay tuned. The United Hour. You have a lot of content to come. Big up you guys. Have a blessed day.
For sure. Peoples, enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe and keep it locked.
Support the United Hour